Hello everyone, Vanguard of Valor here, and welcome back to Into the Breach. So, we've been clearing through our third island here pretty smoothly so far, getting all the way through here primarily on the incredible firepower of Silica's double shot ability, but we'll see if that holds up as we go through the last couple areas here. Next up we have our thermal dampeners mission. We have to apparently defend the robots, so let's find out what that means. Hopefully, it'll go well as everything else has on this island so far. Our sentient minelayers have lost I.O. and are attempting to run old routines. Protect these blind, helpless creatures. Okay, so we have some mine-laying robots, which will mean that we have mines that we can push enemies onto, but also have to make sure they don't get killed. This should be pretty good. Let's do it. They're immediately starting with a shell scion, which I don't like at all. Let us see what we can do here. Let's go tank artillery. I don't think this is going to matter a whole lot. This guy I'm kind of worried about, because if he sets up barriers in the middle, that's going to be bad for these guys. But they should get to move before the actual battle starts. And hopefully they won't put themselves in a dangerous place. Let's do this thing and find out. Yeah, I think this is going to be the play here. Let's see how it goes. Oh, we have a time pod directly next to us. Thank you. Hopefully it doesn't get immediately crushed. Ah, he left a mine on his tile, and he left a mine on his tile. Ah, these aren't normal mines. These are freezing mines. That's good to know. Now, how are we going to get over here to kill him? This was kind of not in my plan. So this guy, as we know, is a problem, but all I should have to do is punch him and he should die because we're bouncing him off this rock. So that will solve the immediate problem. And will also let us move again. So we're going to use that to pick up the time pod. And now it is secure. Now this guy's a bit of a pickle, because while we can move him, we can't really easily deal with this guy. I can move behind him and fire at him, but we can't easily kill him without using our Artemis missiles, which are Gemini missiles, which might be a little overkill. I'm thinking it's probably worth it, though. The only other concern is this guy, which we can kill with the tank as long as he's not armored. So just to make this easy on us, we're going to use our Gemini missiles to clear out the shell scion. That means he loses his armor. And now our tank friend here can come over and fire away. Okay, well, let's end our turn. Let's see what other badness comes our way. We have another alpha immediately shows up. This is not good. He's standing on damaged ground. And he looks like he's trying to free his ally here by attacking the tile he was standing on. Okay, so how do we want to maneuver this? Because I can't really attack this guy. Because these robots are kind of in the positions I would want to attack him into. Now, I can disable him by just shoving him back onto this ice block, and that should permanently prevent him from doing anything. Now, the other funny thing I could do here is I could punch this guy back onto this grenade and freeze him there instead, which might be worth doing just for the fun of it. If these guys are frozen, they can't take any actions, and they won't unfreeze until something hurts them. So, it would also kill him from the two shots, which I'm okay with. So let's move over. Oh, no, it wouldn't, because we only take damage from the first one. Second one, I mean, because the first one is on the ice. Well, so it goes. We'll deal. I don't really know where I want to put you yet, so I'm going to hold on to that second action for you. Now, I can slide this guy over one, so he's not on the ice there, by attacking this guy into the ground, which is probably what we're going to do. He won't get to have a turn again, because he's now frozen. I can attack this one into the ice if I want, but I don't know if we actually want that. We have 3 turns left. What we can do is we can either go here to block one of these emerging Vex spawns, or we can just push this guy around the map a little bit. Slide him over onto this trap. I don't know if that's even a good idea. All it does is it means that we have an unkilled Alpha Scarab in ice again, and this tank isn't free to act. So I'm going to move Silica over one tile, I think, and then we're going to end our turn there. Meanwhile, our cannon mech here, I think, is going to back up one. Our punching mech here, rather. I think that's probably the best play we've got. Let's end our turn and see what happens. So they spawned some nasty business. We've got another mine here. Another mine way in the back, which isn't going to do much. We have a leaper grabbing us, which is fine. We have a charger going for the back, which is not okay, but he's standing on a piece of unstable ground, which is excellent. And we got this guy over here. So I can actually clear all three of these guys. The first one that we're going to do, we're going to use our artillery to clear, because if I hit him with a single artillery shot, he goes in the water. Now, as far as the rest of these guys go, I only have to hit him once to kill him, I only have to hit him once to kill him, so we should be able to simply punch them to death and basically maintain our defenses here. We should be okay now. I don't think we need to worry about these guys at all anymore. Since they're successfully frozen, we can just end our turn. So these will be the last two we have to deal with if they don't freeze themselves. He's threatening a building there, he's threatening a building here. Okay. Well, we can kill him outright with the power of the incredible Silica. And fire again. He's done. We want Silica to get as much experience as we can, because they're the only one who's not max level so far, so it makes a lot of sense for us to try and do it this way. As far as this last guy goes, I can actually just push him onto this mine and he just never get a turn. I don't know if it's worth trying to do something else. What I want to test is a bad idea. I want to know, if we go here and punch into an ice mine, does it freeze our guy, or does he punch and then freeze? So we're going to test this, because I want to know how this works. He punches and then he freezes. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. The dash punch lets us hit something before the effects of the tile take place. Alright, well, let's unfreeze you. There you go. And you can move again. That was some good learning, some good science we did there. Let's end turn. Those ice mines really make this a lot more manageable. These guys are the two most dangerous enemies that spawned, more or less, and they never got a turn. Okay, so we got ourselves a time pod and 2 more credits, which is real nice. It means we might be able to get 10 by the end of this mission, which is a lot of commendation points. We also have protected, I think, every single civilian on this island so far. What's in the pod? What is this? A gravity well, a science class weapon that pulls its target towards us. That's pretty interesting, except that it's a science weapon, so we'd have to pay power to use it, and it's not very good. We do get a reactor core, though, which is going to be super useful. Alright, well, it's going to be time to fight the corporate HQ, but before we do, what do we want to spend this 1 power on? It's not super clear to me what the correct choice here is. I could just stick the gravity well on here, but we use this guy for punching, so that's probably what we're going to want that for. I have a feeling Archimedes is probably the best bet to put this power into, because it would let us increase our movement range even further so they can really get around the map. Alternatively, we could put it into Ralph to give him an extra use of the Gemini missiles, because that's a lot of firepower for him for not a lot of additional cost. These missiles are really expensive to be able to use at all. Powering them up would make them much more efficient. We also might want to give him some more health, because right now if anything really has to hit him, there's no way he's surviving. Same with Silica, though, really. 3 health, 2 health. We're all kind of pretty vulnerable here. I think the right play, at least for now, is going to be to put one of these points, as much as I would love to give them to Archimedes, to put one of these points into the Gemini missiles so we can use them more than once if we have to. We've been using them a lot in the more recent missions, which makes me think it's probably worthwhile to power them up. And then from there, we'll probably put some points into Archimedes to get that extra damage so we can really give him the firepower he needs. Because right now, he's not so strong. Silica is really doing all the work in the cannon mech. Yeah, let's give 1 point here to Ralph. And we'll put it into another use of the Gemini missiles, because that'll make that a little bit more versatile for us, I think. And with that said, it's time to go fight the Hive leader here in the corporate HQ. We have to destroy the Scion Abomination and also protect the corporate tower. Last time I tried this, the Scion Abomination was a real pain. But we'll see what happens.
Pinnacle Tower is under attack. My analysis processor is unable to identify the species effect threatening us. Caution is advised.
Well, let's see what happens. Because they get a lot of buffs right now. If we take a look at the Scion Abomination, he gives everyone +1 health, regeneration at the end of every turn, and they explode when they die. And that's a lot of effects. That's pretty nasty. At least it doesn't give them armored, but it's still pretty bad. Not to mention the fact that we actually can't get a direct line to him. He's probably going to move either way, so it doesn't make a huge difference, but this might not be a good start here for us. We'll see what happens. Let's confirm our starting positioning, and hopefully we don't get destroyed. This guy needs to go down, but he's got a ton of health, which makes it hard to do. Well, that's an aggressive start here. That's fine, we can take him out on our own. Now, part of the problem here is that he actually has bonus HP because of our other friend over here. So it may not be quite as easy as I might have otherwise thought. I can shell him with the Gemini missiles if I stand over here and fire all the way back. He's actually hitting nothing significant here, so I can kind of just let him do that. Alternatively, if I shoot him once with the tank and then use the booster to jump over to here to knock him out the way, I can bring the artillery around and pit him in the water. And then this one I can just punch out the way, and he should explode over here instead of next to the tile he's directly beside. I can dash over here to hit him for 2, but that would leave this building alone, and there's no way anyone else can hit him. If the tank could get over there to hit him, then potentially that would be an option, but it's not. Because I could use the boosters to jump to here and then shoot, but that would be blocking my line of sight, preventing me from hitting him with the rocket punch from here. I have a feeling this is a turn that we're going to really need to think about. Because if we do this wrong, it's going to keep getting harder as we go. The big thing is that this guy has exactly 5 health. So in theory, we can kill him without too many problems. Like, if I come here and rocket punch him, then I can drive around the corner and just shoot him once, because he'll be moved over. So that could work. But then the problem is we have this one and this one attacking that we can't just leave alone. So I could kill the Scion Abomination this turn, but it would leave 2 things that I can't clear, and that's probably not a good idea. The alternative... Is there any way to do more than that? I know I can kill this guy. I know I can kill this, or at least move this guy. Because we can kill him with a Gemini rocket if we really need to, but it's not a good idea. I'd have to move over here, and there's like I can't really do it without shooting anything else important. Unless I can shoot the Gemini missiles super short range? No, I cannot. Okay. Well then. So this guy is probably just going to get disabled for a turn. This one we're going to kill. I think the play here, punch him, use the tank cannon to shove him over, like come over to here and shoot once, and then use the artillery to finish him. And that way, or use the artillery to hit him and then use the tank to finish him, because we want the tank to get the experience, because that might level him up. That way, we still have to deal with the Alpha Digger, which is not great, and we also have to deal... No, because I can't push him this way. He has to die in a position that doesn't put him next to a building, because he's going to explode still, because we haven't done anything about this Scion effect. Okay, I think the correct play is still hit him once with the punching mech. It's going to be moving the artillery over to here, maybe? and artillerying this guy away from this building, maybe with a big hit, and then shooting this guy... Jumping over this guy and shooting him once? That might be the play. We need to get this tank... We need to get this abomination as weak as possible. And if we can do some damage to him right now, then we set him up to potentially be cleared next turn. The only problem is, again, I can't use the missiles because this is in the way. So I could clear him out this way, but I have to kind of leave him alive. I could jump the tank over to here and then shoot him. Use the punch mech to punch him this way, but I can't kill him that way. It still only does 3 damage. If I could hit him against a wall or something, that might work. So is this the play? Here's a weird play that might be better. If we take our cannon mech, we use the boosters to jump him over to the tile that our punching mech is currently standing in, and we shoot this guy dead. It'll knock him over here and he'll explode on those 4 tiles, which doesn't affect this building. Then, before that, we've moved our combat mech over to here. We also move the artillery mech to here. We punch the bug into the artillery mech, so it takes a damage. We use the Gemini missiles to bombard the Scion Abomination and take off half of its health. That might be the play. I don't think he gets the benefits of his buff, because it says all other Vec. So I don't think he actually gets the health regeneration. So I mean he's down to 2, which means we should be able to clear him. So I think this is actually the play, as weird as it sounds. We have to move you to here. Oh no, I can't do that. I should have checked that first, shouldn't I? As good as that play would be, I actually can't move the artillery mech that far. He only has 4 tiles of movement. Okay, well, we're back to the drawing board here then, because as cool as that move would have been, it's 1 tile of movement impossible. I can still do it, it's just not as good. And as much as I dislike that, the not as good version might be the version we wind up going with, just because we need to try and do something here. These guys are going to be a problem, and we need to be able to kill this thing at least next turn. Because the longer it's alive, the worse everything else will be, and the more enemies we're going to keep having to deal with, and it's just going to scale wildly out of control. I don't like the idea of moving our tank all the way over here when most of the enemies are on this side of the map. But it might be what has to happen. Because I can kill this guy, I just have to shoot him twice with our tank, and even with that extra health, he bounces off this one, so he still dies, but he dies here, which kills that, and that's not what we need. I think I have to ignore the digger, as much as that makes me uncomfortable, because ignoring the digger means that it makes it really... Diggers are really hard to clear out. Once they're in a position that they want to attack, it's really hard to move them. So if he moves somewhere else, like here, and attacks those 3 tiles, it's going to be bad for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to successfully clear him out of that position if that's what he goes for. But I think this is what we have to do. We have to move Archimedes over here, punch this bug once. We have to move the artillery over to here, Gemini rocket this guy into the wall, which actually puts him on 1 HP. So close to clearing him, we just don't quite have the damage we need. If I had put that 1 point into extra damage instead of an extra use, that would have killed him outright. So it goes. We can't do anything about it now. Then we come over here. No, don't do that. Undo move. For a second there, I was like, did I just wreck it? Now we jump over to here and we shoot this last guy. There have been a couple times here that I felt like we did the wrong thing. Thankfully, I think we got it. I think we're okay for now. Question is now, where do I put Archimedes? I think I want Archimedes back over here. It's hard to say exactly, because this digger is gonna be a problem. I kind of need some firepower on this side of the map in case I need to get rid of this guy too. But we definitely need to kill this thing. And if it moves over here, I probably can't get to it unless I can get my tank around there, which means I'm going to need some additional firepower in the front. Okay. I don't like this. I think this is going to be a problem, but we're going to see what happens next turn. He regenerates 1 health because of the Scion, which we knew was going to happen. He blows up all his own rocks, which we knew was going to happen. And what do we get? We get an artillery, we get an alpha. Oh. Okay. This is what we do not like. This is really bad. How do we deal with this now? This is really bad. I have to kill this thing, which means I have to do 5 damage to it with basically no time. I might be able to solve the problem if I can use the artillery to shoot here, which would push this guy into this wall, but I'd need to have this thing be dead first. And then I can't clear this one as well. Because if we can use... And this guy's going to kill both of these. He's serious. These two guys are big deals. This one's not such a big problem, but these two are problems. So, what I'm seeing here is we have 1 mech. I can push this guy over, but his turn order is last, which means these buildings would all be destroyed by the time that happens. This guy, our artillery, could theoretically, if the boss is dead, I can shoot 1 artillery shell here, which will kill him and push this guy into the boulder to break it. Then I can jump my tank here and push him back a tile so he's no longer hitting anything, but this guy is still going to devastate everything. There's no good way for me to do everything I need to do and also clear this guy. Not that I can see right now, anyway. It might be possible, I just don't see it. The alternative... No, because this rock needs to be broken. The alternative is we take the combat mech to here, and we rocket punch this enemy. He is then dead. Everyone else is weaker. We take the artillery shot into here, which just pushes him against the rock. That doesn't work still. Because I can take the tank, boost him into here, which would shove this one out of the way, and this one out of the way. But it wouldn't stop this guy from destroying the corporate tower, which is one of our major objectives. Is there a way to do this without destroying the Scion Abomination? I don't think there is, because of the fact that if we kill any of these guys, they explode. And the explosion is going to affect everything around them, so these buildings are going to get hit anyway. The best case scenario here still loses us 3 power, which is really bad. I had a feeling that putting this tank over here was going to be a problem, and it absolutely was. Everyone else went to where we can't do anything. Now, if I were to take the tank over to here and shoot with the tank, is there anything else I can do with the punching mech and our artillery mech that would make this a difference? I could fire 1 shell here, which would push this guy away, and would kill him, but it wouldn't do anything about this guy. I would probably be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and dash punch him, but because this tile is still here, it wouldn't fix the problem. This is a tricky turn, folks. This is a really tricky turn. Because if we were to shoot a shell right here, he'd be on 4 health, which means I can't quite kill him. I'd be able to hit him down to 3, but not enough to finish him off. If I move my... I can't get far enough with the artillery to be able to land a really nasty double shot on these guys or anything else. This wouldn't even be a good shot because it would push him into that building. Shooting here frees up all of the problems except for this guy. Now, here's the thing. If he goes first, there's no fixing this. If this bug goes before him, then we can do it. but he goes 6th. Because what I was thinking is, if we do the artillery shot here, it would slide him over and kill this guy. As long as the tank comes and kills this, it would push him out of the way. We could bring the mech in and rocket punch him for 3, which would leave him on 1 HP. If this guy's attack hits him before he attacks the buildings, it would be fine, but his attack order is 4, and the bug that's attacking him is 6. So that doesn't work either. Well, well, well. If these guys weren't so low in the turn order, this would absolutely be solvable very straightforwardly. Because they are so low in the turn order, I don't know how we do this. The alternative would be to bring over to here Gemini Missile, the Rock, and this guy. Jump and push him out of the way, but then this guy still attacks us. I can use the mech to punch him out of the way, but we can't kill this guy next to any of these buildings, so I'd have to kill the Scion first in order to be able to kill him. Man, this is a tricky situation. I hope you guys don't mind that we're really thinking this one through, but I have a feeling that this is where it all comes down. Like, if we can't solve this problem, we're gonna get absolutely destroyed. Now, here's a situation. He actually only has 4 health. If we... Wait! That's it! I think I've got it. We use the artillery here. We use the Artemis Gemini missiles to smash him into him. That kills both of them if he is dead. Then, all we have to do is use one enemy to push him out of the way. That's the solution. We have to use the Gemini on him after something kills this. Let's use the Combat Mech Super Dash to get the kill on this so we can get the achievement. There we go, ramming speed. Now, what we do is we move this guy over 1 and drop the Gemini missiles here, killing both of them. Fantastic. And we can use the tank shot to either shove him over 1 or just shoot him 1. And we're going to shoot him 1. Oh, man. I hope you guys don't mind that that one took some puzzling, but we got there in the end. That was a difficult turn. I could move this guy again, but I'm kind of okay. I want to kill all these bugs now. Let's end the turn. Wow, that was a tough one. Okay. So this guy's actually a little bit annoying here. I may just shove him over 1. These guys are all relatively straightforward to kill, but this one's going to be a little bit tricky. I could bring the tank over here and shoot him that way. It's probably the easiest way to do it, but then I can't kill both of them, which is kind of annoying. I think it's better to kill that guy, because he is going to be a problem if we don't deal with him. I don't like putting him behind the mountain, but so it goes. Now we've also cleared that rock, and Silica got a promotion, which is excellent. Silica gets +3 grid defense. Really? They all give us +3 grid defense? I mean, it's nice to have 9% extra chance to not have our buildings take damage, but, like, couldn't we get 1 extra power on one of you guys? Alright. Well, that's fine. That's fine. We're in better shape than we could be. This guy needs to get removed, so we're gonna punch him. Perfect. We're gonna take our artillery here, lob him over 1 tile and block that spawn, and we could block this spawn too if we want to just not worry about this. And I think that's probably what we're gonna do, just to make things easier here now that we've struggled through all these shenanigans. Let's block both spawns. Last turn, we're only gonna have 1 guy left, and we can clearly just get rid of him. He's going straight for the Capitol Tower in his last action, but he's not gonna get the chance, because we're gonna punch him to death. Done. Oh boy. That was a fight.
Thousands of lives were saved today. I am thankful for the time you have sacrificed to aid us.
Yeah, no kidding. We got 10 reputation out of that island, we got all of our people promoted, and we have a perfect island, so we get some free stuff. We got an achievement, The Defenders, for completing an island without taking any building damage, which is awesome.
You have saved Pinnacle, accomplishing every objective without fail. Allow me to provide additional aid.
What are we going to take here? We have A Bisamu, which gives our mech the armored ability. We have a cluster artillery. Words are hard. Protect a tile by damaging and pushing adjacent tiles. Interesting. That's a really big area effect. I have a hard time seeing that would be useful a lot of the time, because you don't want to be hurting that many tiles with one attack a lot of the time. We could take 2 overpower for the grid, which would put us up to 30% grid defense, which is not bad. Or we could take A Bisamu for a future run. We're probably not going to use him right now, although he does have that mech reactor skill I want. Our current pilot set is pretty effective, though. I don't really like the cluster artillery. I think we're going to take Abe. There we go. We've unlocked a new pilot, and it's time to spend some reputation. What have we got here? We've got an attraction pulse to pull in a target towards this one tile. Alright. We have a rock launcher. Throw a rock at a chosen target. The rock remains as an obstacle. That worries me a little bit. I don't know if I really want that. Flame shielding. All mechs are immune to fire. Alright. Or critical shields. If the power grid is reduced to 1, all buildings gain a shield. I mean, well, that's not terrible. I really don't want the power grid to ever be that low, so I'm not going to plan for that to be the case. What we're probably going to do here is we're probably going to buy 4 reactor cores, maybe 5. If we sell all of our remaining pilots, we can get a lot of power, and that would let us really beef ourselves up for the 4th island. The only question then would be, do we want to keep Ralph, or do we want to swap him for somebody else? Like Abe or Lily. I kind of like Ralph at this point. Even if it's just for the fact... All of our guys have grid defense, really. Even if it's just for the fact that... I don't know, though. I think we might actually go for Abe instead. We might let Ralph retire here. Because if we get... We can get 3 power, no problem. If we sell Lily, who we're probably not going to use, we can retire her. Retire Lily to the island, we can get a 3rd reactor core bar. Or 4th one, rather. Now, if I sell 2 of my pilots... Oh, I can sell the Gravwell as well. I could sell both of our non-named or non-special pilots and the Gravity Well and get another power bar and keep Abe in case we need a backup. That's much better. Okay, so we're going to sell Zoe. Retire here on the island as well. And we're going to retire Leo on the island as well. And we're going to donate the Gravity Well weapon, which we're not going to use. Now we can buy 1 more reactor core. 5 more power should make a big difference here, and we have a backup pilot if we need him. Let's see how we're going to spend our power first, though. So the first question is, do I want to put Abe on the artillery? It gives it armored, so it's less likely to get hurt by as many environmental effects. It doesn't make a huge difference, but the big thing is I would be trading 1 movement for 1 power, which gets me 1 movement, so I'm not losing anything. The only thing I lose is 3 grid defense, and I might get something better on him, plus I get the armored effect. So, just like that, we are just as good as we were before. And that cost us nothing. We have 5 power to spend, and I'm tempted to put it into either the punch damage or the cannon damage. Probably punch damage first, because punch damage makes us really strong really fast. It doubles the power of the punch right away. And if we get another one we can put into the Gemini missiles, they're up to 4 damage, which makes them really threatening. I'd love to go for tank damage, but this lets us take advantage of the firepower we have right now. Now, on the other hand, I could put some more power into the tank just until we get 1 more, put him into health and the movement, make him a bit beefier. I think I definitely want the Titan Fist upgrade, though, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3 in here and get that. I sure hope they did, Archimedes. And now we have 2 power left to spend. And the question is, do we put it into Abe Isamu here and power up his Gemini missiles? Do we put it into the Artemis artillery so it actually does damage? Or do we put it into the cannon on the Taurus here so we can get incredible firepower with the Devil Shot? I'm unsure. I am very much unsure here. This is probably a pretty important thing we need to decide, though, because we're approaching the final chapter of the game, the final island, and things are going to be nasty there. If we can get enough damage to crunch through some of the meteor things, that should make it a lot easier. I think we're actually going to give it to Abe here. Since we often use the artillery to push things away, though, I don't know, I'm gonna have to think on this one, I think. We'll assign these last couple of points at some point, because we can assign them at any time, but as it stands, we're done on our 3rd island. So let's leave the island. There is no try. By completing 3 islands, we've unlocked Detritus Disposal. In future games, we'll be able to visit unlocked islands in any order. The 2 achievements we just got, we can check them in the achievements menu. There is no try is for finishing 3 islands without ever failing an objective, which is pretty sweet, and for finishing 3 islands without ever dropping below 4 grid power, which is also pretty sweet. There are a whole pile of other achievements there for us to work towards, but for now, we're doing pretty good. So, overall, we're doing okay. We got 2 reactor cores to assign before we come back next time, but this is where we're going to end this episode for now. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and until next time, bye-bye.